This video is part 1 of my Reasons You Aren't a 4.0 Pickleball Player series. Today we're going to cover 3 common mistakes that could be holding you back from reaching that next level. These are errors we see in players all the time, and fixing them can make a huge difference in your game. Let's jump right in. Another common problem I see as an instructor is when our students hit the ball hard without any regard for where they're hitting it to or the height of the ball of where they're hitting it at. If it's at or below the net, it's very hard to hit a really hard shot and keep it in. What happens when we hit the ball up to get it over the net? It goes right into the strike zone of our opponents, especially if we're hitting it to their forehand. So really be cognizant. If you're going to hit the ball hard, make sure it's at or above the height of the net so that you can hit down on the ball. And we can start a sequence. If it's at or below the net, it's very hard to hit a really hard shot and keep it in. What happens when we hit the ball up to get it over the net? It goes right into the strike zone of our opponents, especially if we're hitting it to their forehand. So really be cognizant. If you're going to hit the ball hard, make sure it's at or above the height of the net so that you can hit down on the ball. And we can start a sequence where we're hitting it to the opponent's feet or to the opponent's knees, where they have to place the paddle down and get the winning point. Right here, our student is giving the opponent the winning point because she is hitting the ball from a lower standpoint, hitting it up above the net, and our opponents are waiting for that return. As you can see in this clip, I'm in blue and I'm trying to get in on this hands battle. My partner is consistently hitting the ball down, forcing my opponent to hit the ball up. But instead of yielding ground to my forehand, she keeps raising her paddle and it gets progressively further left so that she has to reach over her left shoulder to hit the ball, which is not the best situation. So be aware when your opponent is starting to move that ball over, that it's going out of your forehand and into your backhand, and your opponent is right-handed or left-handed and they are in the middle and they can hit down on it with their forehand. Please beware to give ground to that person so they can finish it off. We always want to make our best shot, and the way to do that is to keep both feet grounded. When you lift a foot like that, you lose balance, you lose power, and you lose control. So always try to keep both of your feet grounded when you're trying to hit the ball hard. If you ask instructors, what is the #1 cause of missed shots in pickleball, I would say 95 out of 100 would say it's footwork. We have a tendency to reach for the ball rather than move our feet and put ourselves in a good position. So when you reach for the ball, especially if it's below the net, chances are you're going to either hit it into the net or pop it up where your opponent can slam it back at you. So move your feet and don't stand still and reach. Those are 3 key mistakes that could be keeping you from hitting that 4.0 mark. By addressing these areas and practicing smarter, you'll see improvements in no time. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll cover more ways to elevate your game to the next level.